pretty interesting. Within 1 week, we've got two dueling storylines. Seattle is going to have the greatest projected drop in tourism from Canada of any city in the United States, followed by Portland. Seattle has the third highest vacancy rate in the U.S. I thought things were getting better, but numbers are numbers, based on the science and the data. We're looking at the data. Seattle has the third highest vacancy behind San Francisco and behind Austin, both tech cities. But San Francisco and Seattle have some notable street conditions that are also impacting things. Is that what's going on here? Let's get into it. Here we go. The Downtown Seattle Association, that's the DSA, says the situation is improving, talking about the downtown Seattle core, but it's still very concerning. There's a lot of work to be done. We have much work to be done. It's my favorite saying to make fun of right now, because it means, well, what have you been doing? You could say work has been done, but then you've got this whole notion on the horizon that we might get a Democratic Socialist of America as our next mayor. Very, very strong reality. Businesses are looking at that because one of her 9 principles is regressive tax revenue, meaning you're going to tax rich people and you're going to tax big business. Who wants to go in and sign up a lease when there's the projected, good chance that an absolute Looney Tune who doesn't understand business at all, who's going to sign up a lease and go, yeah, I want to be in that city. I want to have my company in that city. I want to have my company in the crosshairs of ideology that is very anti-business. Make business pay. It's like, let's go Brandon Johnson in Chicago. We're going to have regressive revenue, match up with our $1 billion shortfall, meaning he's going to tax the F out of businesses because he tried taxing the homeowners, $300 million, and 50-0, their councilmen and councilwomen, whatever they call them, said, no, let's go, Brandon Johnson. We're not doing that. So if you're a business and you've got the opportunity to get out of Seattle, you are doing that. And we'll hear about these stats in just a second. So only San Francisco and Austin, Texas have higher percentages of their downtown districts vacant. I would have said Portland ahead there. But simply not true. GeekWire reports Amazon's requirements for workers to return to the office has produced foot traffic. And you know what? Everybody at Amazon is kind of they're resolved to the fact that their ass is back in the office. Other companies, Microsoft, they're working on it. But that's not the issue. It's not return to office. It is providing a business environment that actually is pro-business. And you don't have that in Washington State, and you certainly don't have that in Seattle. So even if you get the streets cleaned up, you've still got this external obsolescence. We're going real estate appraisal here. You've got a form of, built-in obsolescence, which is the street conditions. That's, literally external on the street level. But then you've got this other economic, which is that businesses don't want to move to a city that is going to tax the F out of them down the road, and has basically said as much and has done so in the past. And that is why Amazon has left. Thousands of employees have been moved to Bellevue, where I am. Just a handful of a couple of miles that way, you got a whole bunch of Amazon buildings going up in downtown. But while some new businesses have set up shop or moved into the area, others are leaving. Global healthcare nonprofit Path has moved out of the area and relocated to the Fremont district outside of downtown. I would move to Fremont all day long. Fremont's great. It is just to the north of Queen Anne. It's got a bunch of breweries. Fremont Brewing is there, which is Sarah Nelson, city president. You've got just a bunch of cool little companies. And I know it's Seattle. I know there's homeless everywhere and there's drug addicts all bent over there too. But it's still not as bad as downtown Seattle, where you've literally got open air drug markets and lunatics running around chasing each other. Embattled and ineffective Mayor Bruce Harrell is facing a stiff challenge from socialist candidate Katie Wilson. That's who we're talking about, who doesn't appear to grasp how to encourage businesses to return. She's a socialist. Why would she? She's going to tax them. She's not going to encourage them. That's not, concurrent with her ideology. Her ideology is, well, we got to tax, everybody who's got money because, wealth redistribution, that's a good thing. Well, that's not how business works, and that's certainly not how the downtown core works. So her website indicates she could be in favor of a vacancy tax applied against retail or commercial property owners in the downtown district, as if that threat will encourage them to find, we're going to get taxed? Oh, well, then we should find a tenant. The reason you can't find a tenant is because street conditions are poor and the outlook for running a business in your city is poor. That's why. I mean, it's real simple. It's real basic stuff. But when you've got Democrats in there always running the show, they go from being moderate to being just left-wing nut jobs. You don't have that right wing bring things around. Your best shot at right wing is who we've got in council now and we've got for city attorney now. And those people are all losing in the preliminary indicators of, how's this going to go in November type deal. Crime, drugs, and other taxes and issues are driving more corporations and businesses out of the Seattle area, specifically downtown. Seattle's vacancy rate in the downtown has grown from 28.7 to 32.4% over the last year. So street conditions in downtown Seattle, yes, better. And I've walked through a handful of times. I most recently drove through, I've been to downtown a bunch lately because I was checking out the ICE building, driving around that going, hey, it says fuck ICE on the side and they haven't got that off yet. Just left-wing lunacy. Leave it up. It's okay. And you're like, Andrea Suarez goes down there and tries to scrub the graffiti off the federal building and they tell her no. I mean, no, you can't. You can't take off F ICE from the exterior of our building. We want that on there. You're just like, oh, I get it. They want somebody that's authorized, that has licensing and all that to come in and clean. But really, you're going to stop somebody from cleaning up? Like, no, just keep going. Keep going all the way around. Keep going. And then I took my friend Gavin and showed him the open air drug market that is the Blade. And, I was able to point to him and say, see all those people leaning over, hunched over? They're on Fetty. See all those other people kind of milling around? They're either buying or selling. It's our known open air drug market, human trafficking, purchasing and sale of stolen goods, you name it. And it's right there on the corner in downtown. Your other major market that's just like that is in the International District. And that area is no better either. It's just they've shoved it down the Asian community there, it's Chinatown, whatever you want to call it. It's just a conglomerate of a whole bunch of, Asian community. And they've just allowed the drug dealers to just do their thing there and ruined that area. Ruined it. Just ruined it. It's what Seattle is famous for. Just, let it go. It'll be fine. It'll be all good. So 28.7 to up to 32.4%. That is a massive shift in the wrong direction. And in my opinion, it's because of the external obsolescence being, why would I move my business into Seattle? You're not given any great tax breaks. In fact, one of the stories recently is you'll get a credit when your business is broken into on the repairs. That's a program Seattle has. Don't go after the criminals. Don't arrest the criminals breaking into businesses, but give the business owners a credit when, not if, when their business gets rocked. And they're going to be on the news, right? Like the West Seattle jeweler had $2 million in jewelry, Rolexes, diamonds, gold, you name it, taken at about midday in West Seattle in 90 seconds. $2 million, boom, gone, middle of the day. Nothing says, hey, come open a business in West Seattle like a 90-second, $2 million robbery. And of course, there's no suspects. They've got them on videotape, but they're all wearing masks. They think they might know who one of them is, but honestly, really, crime does pay. Crime happens on the regular. And that is reflected in what we've got going on with basically a 4-point increase I mean, that's a huge increase going the wrong way when other cities across the United States are shrinking their vacancy rate. Now, you might say, well, Sean, what's your matched pair analysis for that? Meaning, let's go city to city. Bellevue, 16%, maybe 17% vacancy rate. We don't have a high vacancy rate relative to where things were after the pandemic. Everything just, work from home exploded. We're years past that. We've got people moving all kinds of businesses into Bellevue, away from Seattle, and that's what you're reflecting in that 4-point increase in Seattle's vacancy rate. So I know this isn't a sexy topic. I know this isn't, the homeless man without his shirt and shoes on, chasing people around with a gun or a knife, all whacked out on drugs. This isn't one of those. But this is a result of those stories, and it's the facts, and it impacts income, impacts businesses' ability to operate in a city, and Seattle right now is a no-go. A no-go. And also from the tourism standpoint, a no-go. Hardest no-go in the U.S. for Canadians coming down. Now, the argument there is, well, that's because of the tariffs. And you're like, okay, all right. Yeah, we got a little war there going on. But you can't tell me that Portland and Seattle, being number 2 Portland and number 1 Seattle, biggest drops in tourism, you can't tell me that's just a coincidence, because both of those cities have some pretty tough street conditions. Pretty tough street conditions. Hey, come to our city and walk around. Well, don't go to the waterfront because that veteran in a wheelchair just got shot in his chest by a lunatic at nearly, point blank range. I think the guy's like 15 feet away. That's on our waterfront. That is ultimate tourism. The Argosy cruise boat line is in the background. You can see the Argosy sign. Nothing says come to Seattle and spend some dollars than a dude getting shot who's a veteran in a wheelchair in the chest. Come to Seattle. It's going to be great. What could go wrong? Shenanigans. I want to read just another section of this because there's a really kind of important part here. Seattle's office market is sitting at record high vacancy availability levels, raising fresh doubts about how quickly the city's downtown can bounce back, even as return to office mandates kick in. And this was from February. Why it matters: prolonged vacancies, plummeting property values, fire sale deals. We haven't even talked about that. I've talked about fire sale deals down in Portland happening. Just some of the numbers there are like, what? You getting that building for how much? That's a deal. Major buildings signal ongoing financial distress for landlords and developers. That is absolutely happening, with potential ripple effects across the city's real estate market. What they're saying. Puget Sound's region office market is showing signs of stabilization, with many areas seeing steady or falling availability rates over the past few months. Over the past few years, we have seen that. And here's the kicker. Said 𝗧𝗜𝗘𝗏𝗧𝗔𝗕𝗏, Seattle analyst for CoStar Group. There's just one exception. The city of Seattle. It's going the wrong way. It's going the wrong way. You're going the wrong way with the rhetoric. You're going the wrong way with, getting rid of your criminal activity. You're going the wrong way with so many factors. Washington State already adding $9.2 billion in taxes. Your big businesses are going to come to Seattle, or they're going to come to Bellevue. And let's just go with, they ain't going to Seattle. They're moving out of Seattle. We just read that. More than offsetting those moving in. Those are record highs, according to CoStar data that goes back to 2005 and 1982. Wow. So we've got some highly escalated numbers, and this is back in February. So that has gotten worse. 4 points worse. It's gotten worse. Not going in the right direction. Kind of a shocker to me, because I thought, well, all things considered, you've still got businesses going in, but I thought it was really interesting that, no, that's not the case. Goes on to say, last year, Seattle's financial district was listed as the most vulnerable in the U.S., along with San Francisco's and Houston's. So Houston has now been replaced with Austin. Interesting. According to Kaplan Report, amid defaults on commercial real estate loans climbing amid soaring office vacancy rates. So yeah, much of the same. Other areas getting better. Seattle, not so much, going in the wrong direction. And I think so much of this is because of the idea Seattle is no longer a place for that businesses can get comfortable handling business, because there's such a chance that political leadership's going to go down this anti-Trump path, and it's just going to be terrible for business. And they're going to end up paying massive short gaps in the budgets with business tax, with new business tax. I mean, we've already done tax Amazon once by a, Democratic Socialist of America. That was 𝗧𝗏. You want to go round two? I don't want to see that for Seattle, but that is a very hard reality given the fact that Trump is president and the blue has gone bluer in Washington state certainly applies to Seattle. And I think you'll see Seattle really kind of go down this hard left. And then, we'll circle back. And like I always say, podcasts for days, weeks, months, years, into the decades now. We're talking decades, because the impact of this kind of stuff, it never really goes away. It never really goes away, because there's always a bunch of stuff that gets set up. You get laws passed. You've got some real estate laws being passed that, people are not going to invest in the city of Seattle. People are not going to invest in the state of Washington. They're going to go elsewhere. Just like big businesses signing leases in downtown Seattle. Hey, let's go to Bellevue instead. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch up with you on the next one. Love to have you subscribe, do all that good stuff. And I'll see you then. Bye for now.